far. Don't stop now. Reaching for a distant star. Don't stop now. Isn't it strange how we're safe at home? Till counting days until the second go. If you're gonna make a change, you have to let me know. Turn this shit around without a doubt. The youngs is all you need to do. Don't stop now. Reaching for a distant star. Don't stop now. Isn't it strange how we're safe at home? Till the counting days until the second go. If you're gonna make a change, you have to let me know. Turn this shit around without a doubt. The youngs is all you need to do. thought that we'd go this far. Don't stop now. Reaching for a distant star. Don't stop now. Isn't it strange how we're safe at home? Till they're counting days until a second glow. If you're gonna make a change, you have to let me know. Turn this shit around without a doubt. The youngs is all you need to do. far. Don't stop now. Reaching for a distant star. Don't stop now. Isn't it strange how we're safe at home? Till they're counting days until the second glow. If you're gonna make a change, you have to let me know. Turn this shit around without a doubt. The youngs is all you need to do.
What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another Good Morning Tottenham. And look who we have back in the studio, back from the dead. Simeon is back with us after a nice week off for him. How you doing, Sim?
Oh, it was not a nice week off, I can tell you that much. I can tell you that for free. It was a pretty horrific week off. But yeah, look, I'm glad to be back. I'm fit and firing. I'm well again, which is all good news. And we brought him the 3 points, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, definitely. So the way we're going to structure this video, don't know what's going on with that camera angle, but the way we're going to structure this video is we're going to go through Antonio Conte's press conference from yesterday. We're going to do a match review, and then we're going to do our Simeon reviewing of the goal clips and a few tactical analysis of Antonio Conte's setup yesterday. But yeah, shall we start off with the press conference?
Yeah, let's listen to what Antonio had to say.
Hi, everybody.
Good evening.
We will start with Paul Gilmore, please.
Hi, Antonio. You tried to lift the crowd towards the end of the match. You celebrated at the full-time whistle with such passion. How important is that to you for building energy around the football club?
Yeah, we celebrated the win because I think it was a difficult win, but we knew this. And I read the stats of Leeds, and Leeds was the first team to bring intensity to run. And in the first half we struggled a lot because they played better than us, and they won the tackle. They lead the game. They lead the game. But I think also because in the first half we conceded to the possession. The possession. The second half we have changed the plan tactically, and we started to put pressure, to go in every area of the pitch to put pressure, and we created a great difficulty to Leeds. We created chances to score. We scored 2 goals. Maybe we deserved to score more goals, but for sure an important win because we needed of this. And after the first half, our fans wasn't satisfied for the football that we played, and I was agree with them. In the second half, we changed it totally, and I'm pleased for the players because I have changed the plan tactically, but then they played well. They played with personality. They run. They put pressure. They created a difficulty to Leeds in the second half. For this reason, we won. I think to win in this way is good. It's good because I bring with me and also my players 2 different situations: the first half and the second half. And I said the player that if we want, we can. And we have, I think, a lot of space for improvement. I'm pleased because many players are involved today, and Tanganga, then Sanchez, when he came in, Winks, he struggled a lot with the rest of the team. The first half, in the second half, he played with personality. He played well, and the same Sessegnon to come back on the team after injuries was important for us. And it's good win, and it's right to celebrate with passion, no? And I have a great passion, and I want to transfer my passion in all this environment, because you can be good tactically, you have quality, you can have a good organization, but passion, heart, I think, or you have or you don't have.
Thanks, Paul. Matt Law, please.
Hi, Antonio.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask, does a win like this, the way it was achieved, help to build spirit within the squad? And also, how important is it, while you get across your methods to the players, that you actually get some momentum going, even if it is with difficult victories?
Yeah, but this win is very important. It's very important because I repeat, we struggled today in the first half, and we played 2 different games. And in the first half, I think they beat us under tactical aspect. In the second half, we tried the solution to change the game, and to play against Leeds, against Marcelo Bielsa, is not easy, and we must be satisfied. And this is a a point to start for the rest of the season. I'm sure that to continue to work in the way that we are working under tactical aspect, under physical aspect, under mentality aspect, I think we can have a good improvement for the rest of the season. And we know very well that in this season we have to fight. We have to fight a lot, but we want to make proud our fans. And today, after the first half, our supporters, our fans was disappointed, no? But it was the same for me. It was the same for my players. To have this reaction, this spirit, this character, it means that you have heart, you have passion, and now you have to put this in every moment and to improve, because the only words that in this moment is important for us is work very hard, work together, and to fight together to make proud our fans.
Okay. Alistair Gold, please.
Congratulations, Antonio.
Thank you.
Obviously, that intensity you wanted that we saw in the second half, that's a hallmark of your teams. How long is it going to take you to work with these players to get them up to the fitness required to have that for every match for 95 minutes or so?
That's true, and for sure. And at the start of the game, I was scared, I was afraid about this aspect, because in these 3 weeks we have worked also under a physical aspect, but we worked with the player that we had with us, and the rest of the player was with the national team. And when I arrived in Tottenham, we played 2 games against Vitesse and then Everton, and we couldn't work under this aspect. For sure, we need to improve, because I like to bring this intensity, and I had a bit of perplexity, and to use this intensity from the start, because I didn't know if we can bring this intensity for the whole game. The first half for sure, but it was my decision. We were more compact, and we left them to lead, and the possession. In the second half, I totally changed the situation, and under tactical aspect, and also I said them, we have to go, my man, we have to go to play in the same intensity. If we want to beat Leeds, we have to beat them in their in what they are good, to do.
Okay, and time for one more, and that will be Jonathan Veal, please.
Hi, Antonio. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
You're 4 points off the top 4 now. How confident are you in this squad that you can challenge for the Champions League places?
And now to speak, now to think that for sure we want to fight, and we want to try to improve the position on the table. I think, and I must be honest, that in England the league is very difficult, and every game is very tough, and you can lose points with all the teams. And I think in this moment there are four teams that, for many reasons, because they are working with the same coaches, because they invested a lot of money. In these moments, there are 4 teams that they are. There is a gap, There is a gap, but I'm not scared. I'm not scared about this. I trust in my players. I trust in the squad, and we want to fight. We want to fight to try to stay close in the position to fight for the Champions League. Then, if there is one team that sleep in this season or make mistakes, we must be there. We must be there to try to do our best. I repeat, I don't want to tell okay, but if we finish in this position, is good. We need to improve. And club called me to try to improve the situation and for the present and also for the future. Now I'm happy. I'm pleased because I like to work with Tottenham because I know that here I can work in the way that I like, and I'm sure that we can improve a lot and to try to fight to be competitive in every competition, because Tottenham, in my idea, has to fight in every competition that is playing in this season.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
All right.
So that was every word Antonio Conte said after the 2-1 win against Leeds yesterday. Anything you're taking away from that?
Nothing like groundbreaking, but I think the way in terms of he said how he changed things up in the second half, he allowed Leeds a bit too much encouragement in the first half, and Tottenham were a bit too compact in how they were approaching the game and giving Leeds possession. And then he was saying how he made Tottenham step it up in the second half, and we started playing a lot harder up the pitch, taking a bit more risk, and ultimately that ended up paying off. And I think that shows that he's not afraid to throw a bit of caution to the wind when need be, especially when we're 1-0 down at home to Leeds when it needs to happen. But half time he changed up immediately when he knew things were going wrong, and that was really, really positive. In terms of, he said he's not scared about the gap between us and the top four right now, and he's just going to work hard to make sure we're closing that gap as week by week, and that's how good. That's good to hear, because I don't think, if you ask Nuno that question, he'll probably be like, oh, you don't want to talk about top four or anything like that. He's probably not confident or anything. But Conte's always ambitious in that aspect. He said before he came that when I join teams, I don't care if it's a 1% chance or a 90% chance, but I need there to be a chance we can win. And that's what he always looks for. He always clings on to those percent, like anything he can, that there is a chance we can achieve our goals, and that's all he's about. And he'll be looking at those Champions League spots, no doubt, and he can think we can do that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that with Man United, how they've been this season, they've got an interim. They're going to sign another interim to sign
exactly an interim for the interim,
an interim for an interim to sign their long-term manager at the end of the season. So there must be an opening. That fourth spot is up for the grabs, isn't it?
Yeah. At the moment, as far as Man United are in a bit of a mess as they are, obviously getting rid of Oli is probably a step in the right direction. But as long as they're not pulling in the right direction, then there's 100% an opening. No one else really is there who you'll say. I know West Ham having a good season; they're a good team, but like West Ham, I don't fear West Ham when it comes to a top four challenge. I would back us 100% to finish above them if it was a straight fight. Arsenal, I know again having a good time of it, although they lost 4-0. Nothing. They don't scare me. Like I'm not afraid to be going up against Arsenal in a top four battle.
I genuinely don't think Arsenal are even in the top four race this year. I don't think they're in it. I know they're fifth right now, 12 games gone. But when you're looking at the last 10 games that they've played, I mean, let's be honest, who have they actually beaten? Who have they actually taken points? Because in my opinion, any sort of side that's come up against them with any sort of quality or on form, they've taken points off them this season. You know what I mean? In the last 10 games, who have they taken points? They've taken points off us, who were absolutely tragic that day. Hardly play within midfield. Our manager's been sacked since then. They've beaten Villa, who went on a 6-game losing run after that, who their manager got sacked after that. And apart from that, they lost points to Crystal Palace, they lost points to Brighton, and apart from that, they've beaten Norwich's, Newcastle's, and Burnley's, and these kind
Leicester
of teams
as well.
Leicester, who are 15th in the league, or like in the mid-table, or in like who are really massively off form.
Yeah, but look, you still got to go on a run. You got to be consistent, and that's what they've been doing. Whatever. Look, I'm not saying they're going to get top four, but I'm just saying like anyone else apart from Man United. It's my point. I don't think Arsenal, West Ham, they don't scare me. Like I'm not thinking, oh, we got to finish above these lot. I'm thinking all we have to do is finish above these lot. You know what I mean? Like we can do it. We can do it for sure. And as long as Conte keeps going in the right direction, we get a bit of consistency in our game. We get some reinforcements in January, which would be definitely important considering the squad. I think top four is definitely there for anyone, and no one. If you're looking in the race as well, when you got players like Kane and Son, or and players like that ilk, then you can't discount us for sure. You can't discount us,
Definitely.
and it's just hope. You just got to hope Man United don't get their act together.
Yeah,
because their squad is superior to anyone in the race.
Definitely. All right, let's get into the match review. Obviously, Tottenham won 2-1 at home against Leeds yesterday, which was very much a game of two halves. Let's start off with the first half. The way we set up. Do you think that maybe the players or even the manager took it a bit lightly because of the kind of injuries Leeds had in the way we set up in that first half? Or in the way we played our football anyway? I
don't think they took it lightly. I just think they maybe showed them too much respect, if anything. And I think Leeds were... I think we maybe underestimated... tactically, Leeds was still on point pretty much throughout that... throughout their first half. They were so aggressive. They went man-to-man throughout the whole first half, especially in the front three. Anytime we played any sort of pass into Son, Kane or Lucas, they were on their backs. They were completely up their arses, like just being really strong.
They played like the Leeds of last season pretty much in that first half.
Yeah, and they were so super aggressive, not letting the attackers get any time on the ball, not letting them turn at all. Lucas, I think, in that first, I'll get him to his performance in the second half, but in the first half, I thought every time the ball was played into him, he was just so easily shoved off and lost the ball and wasn't able to contain it at all. The only person who was able to hang on to it was Harry Kane, and then once he was able to hang on to it and turn, he was either too deep or he just didn't have much support, and that led to him being very isolated. And Leeds were able to pick the ball up and regain possession again, and then they had the majority of possession. They didn't do much of it. They had a couple of pot shots really. From outside the box, which nearly went in, and then but they were the better team in the first half, and they got the goal they probably feel like they deserved right at the end of it.
Yeah. But what do you put it down to? Because obviously Leeds came out 100 miles an hour. They were all over us like a rash. And when you're looking at the lineups, when we were both looking at the lineup before the game when they first came out, we thought we were going to roll this team over, didn't we?
Of course.
Because, Rafinha out, Bamford out, Ayling out, a few other players, Rodrigo out. So what was it down to in the first half? Was it a tactical thing or was it down to effort?
No, I think it was mainly tactical. That's what I think. I don't think it was an effort. I think Spurs were putting in a lot of effort. I could see that when I'm looking on the pitch. But I think tactically we stood off them quite a bit. We were, as Conte said, we were too compact. We were allowing them way too much time on the ball to kind of play around us. And I wouldn't say it was an effort thing, but there was definitely that extra intensity in terms of outrunning Leeds. Leeds were outrunning us in that first half. That definitely contributed to us ceding control of the game, and it all makes a difference when you're being super aggressive and you're winning the ball back and you're winning individual battles, and that gives you control. That allows you a platform to play off. And yesterday in that first half, we weren't doing those things. We kept losing all the individual battles. We weren't able to kind of get any sort of passing moves together and play the ball in between the lines and get the ball forward into the Leeds half. And they were the ones who were nipping in ahead of us, who looked a bit more alert than us in that first half. And it definitely took halftime team talk from Conte to get into these players because it definitely wasn't good enough.
So what did actually?
Although, what do you think about booing at half time? Yeah, it's Conte's second game, already starting booing at half time.
To be honest, I do think the performance wasn't good enough in the first half, and I've got no problem with the fans letting them their feelings known. And I think Conte alluded to it in the press conference, didn't he? He said that the fans weren't happy with the first half performance, and I wasn't happy, and the players weren't happy alike. I mean, I don't think there's a problem with the fans letting them feeling known. I think it gets to a problem when it gets a bit toxic, as in terms of calling for people to go. I think that's when it gets.
Booing used to be reserved for, like, you know, when you're on like a 5-game losing streak.
Yeah, but you know what? This day and age, it's not like that anymore. One half of bad football, and that's what comes out.
And you start booing already.
And you know, and
I just feel like it's Conte's.
We didn't have a shot on target once again. That was like 3 full games of football in a row. So it's like a culmination of that, to be honest.
I guess, but you know, Conte's first home game in charge. You know, first home Premier League game. You know, you thought the fans would, you know, have a bit more patience than just one half. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but let's be honest. The fans were booing, right? But this game was one of the best atmospheres I've been to this season.
It was good.
It was great atmosphere. The fans were giving as much as they were, you know, as much as they booed at the end of the first half. We also powered the team on to win in the second half.
Yeah.
So I don't really have too much problem with that booing at the end of the first half.
Fair enough. All right. What were you about to say before that?
I was about to say, you know, moving on to the second half, right? What do you put the changes down? Do you put it down to the kind of tweaks that Conte made at half time? Do you put it down to kind of Leeds tiring in the second half? Because they were going at 100 miles per hour in that first half, and it was always going to be difficult for them to keep that going throughout the whole 90 minutes.
Yeah, that's what they're used to, aren't they, Leeds? That's how they play. Been playing like that for a very long time. So I don't know if it's them tiring. I just think we put in those extra inches which make all the difference. And you saw, I think there's what's it called? I liked a tweet actually yesterday. Maybe we can bring it up. Where is it? This one. Can we bring this up? Are you there? Can you see me?
Blank.
It's blank. Oh, sorry, one sec. There you go. One sec. Let's just bring. Yeah, why not? Can you see that on screen? That's what the graphic was yesterday. The difference
Finally,
in the
shots
second.
on target. Look at that, 4 in one half.
Exactly. Never seen anything like it. Hit the ball 3 times. But I think the most important one, outran Leeds by an extra 3 kilometres in that second half than we did in the first half. And that was probably key to really gaining control of the game, because it meant we can pen them in, and we could hound them, as opposed to in the first half we were just allowing them too much control. We were allowing them to have the ball and play around a bit too much, and it was difficult to get the ball off them. But as soon as we started stepping up, being more aggressive ourselves, winning the ball back in better spaces, and it became very, very difficult for then Leeds to gain control of possession, and it became very easy for us. Not easy, but it became very much more achievable for us to sustain attacks. And it wasn't just like it didn't just become us attacking and then Leeds getting forward and having spell possession. It became us attacking and then penning them in. And once we did get that goal, you know, it did seem, even from the beginning of the second half, it seemed like a matter of time before we were going to equalise.
Definitely. I mean, it seemed as though there was just a complete different vibe about the team in that second half as soon as they came out. And, you know, you could tell that on the kind of maybe individual performances as well, because I thought Winks had a pretty poor first half and then massively grew into the game in that second half. I thought Højbjerg, maybe just a bit to a lesser extent, had a very poor first half and grew into the game a tad bit more in that second half. Obviously got that goal. I thought Reguilon as well, amazing in that second half. And there were a lot of performances out there, you know, where it was just Jekyll and Hyde, wasn't it, from first half to second half? Yeah,
it was. I think for the whole team pretty much, but I think Lucas Moura for me was the biggest one, because I thought first half he was really wasteful and really struggled to hang on to the ball, wasn't able to turn at all. I thought he gave the ball away so often in that first half, just with miscontrols and things like that. But the second half, he was still a bit rough, but he was involved in everything that was good about our performance in the second half. He was the one who slipped Harry Kane through for when he hit the post. He was the one who did a lovely lofted through ball to Son when he hit the crossbar. He won the free kick for the goal. He obviously set up Dier for his goal as well. So he was literally in the hub of of all the main things we were doing good in the second half, and he completely switched his performance from the first half, where he was completely wasteful and unthreatening.
Yeah, definitely. I thought he was like you said, involved in everything. And another player that was involved in both goals was Reguilon. Obviously, Reguilon gets the goal, first goal for Tottenham. That celebration was absolutely brilliant. The passion that he showed, and I don't know if you saw his post-match interviews as well. I mean, he was just knackered after that game. He was absolutely knackered. And the interesting things he was saying was like, after speaking to Conte and like seeing Conte's passion, he goes to sleep dreaming about football, thinking about his positioning on the pitch and stuff like that. And it's just the infectious kind of thinking that Conte breathes onto the squad, doesn't he?
It's infectious on the stand. You can see it. You know, the fans can see it. The fans feed off it, and that passion is second to none from Antonio Conte. Exactly, it's night and day. What we literally just had with Nuno, who just very, very pensive, just watching on the touchline, doesn't shout anything.
I mean, there hasn't been a more passionate manager ever at Tottenham, probably.
Yeah, probably in the Premier League, let alone at Tottenham. Like, he is the most passionate man you'll ever care to meet, and it's infectious, and it rubs off on everyone, and everyone wants to get involved and add energy to that, and it's easy to feed off that energy that Conte gives,
especially when he's turning around to the fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on! I love that.
It was amazing.
Absolutely love that, and the fans just went wild after that, didn't they?
Exactly, and he knows how to G up a crowd, and he's kind of like he's like the number one fan on the touchline. You know what I mean? If he's setting the tone, it's everyone's got to follow.
Yeah.
And then you got obviously when you have the players there, and they're following his lead, he's under his stewardship. They're his soldiers. And you see that kind of passion. He's like on the front line even at a point. I don't know how he keeps up for 90 minutes. He needs fitness just as much as the bloody players to keep up that night for 90 minutes, shouting and screaming and passion and directing everyone here, there, and everywhere. And it's delightful as a Spurs fan, like wanting that kind of energy and passion from your manager. Like, it's just, I'm so happy to see that on the touchline, and it's a delight. It really is.
You know what I mean? Because there's been a lack of passion in this side for a long time now.
In
There's
this
been
club,
complete lack of passion in this club, in the stands, on the pitch, on the sidelines of the pitch, and it's just so good to see all that passion, on the pitch, on the sidelines, in the stands. But back on Reguilon, like you said, with Moura involved in both the goals. So was Reguilon. He got on the end of that free kick after it hit the post, and he got that cross in that found its way to Lucas Moura. How much do you credit Reguilon for the way he's kind of stepped up this season?
Well, this is off the back of one of his worst performances ever against Everton, so it's only one, you know what I mean? It was a terrible
but
game,
on a whole, he's been very good this season. He's created the most chance out of any fullback in the league.
Has he?
Yeah.
That can't be right.
It is right.
No, it can't. He's not.
No.
Reguilon has not created more chances than Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Well, read the stats.
No chance. I don't believe that for a second.
Okay.
I do not believe. No, how has Reguilon created more chances than Trent?
Let me see if I can find the stat.
No way. I can't be. You must have misread something. That can't be right. That can't be right.
If I can find the stat.
I'm happy to be proved wrong, but I can't be right. I find that very hard to believe that Reguilon's created more chances than Alexander-Arnold.
I can't remember. I can't find it. I thought I liked it or saved it, but there was a little Sky Sports. If
you liked it, it'll be on likes.
I thought I did, but it's not there. But either way, he's having a brilliant season, in my opinion.
No, he's having a good season, and he's only going to improve under Conte. He's going to be a massive, massive player. And I think yesterday in the second half, if you look at our average positioning, he's pretty much like a left winger. He's not even a left back. That's what he is in this system. And he has to run double as much. That's what he said, and it's going to take some getting used to.
Maybe it
for
was
him.
in like the last 5 games or something like that. Maybe it wasn't all season. I think it maybe in the last 5 games or something.
Okay, that's more believable because Trent has been a machine this
Yeah,
season.
Trent's got 6 assists this season. Reguilon's got 2 or 3. So I think it's been in the last 5 games. I think that's what the stat was.
But he's going to be a massive player for us, and we know when Spurs invested in him last season, 27 million, that a young fullback, that it wasn't always going to be plain sailing. But I think Reguilon, in terms of his quality, we've always said that we can see the quality in him in terms of his final ball. I think he's got a good final ball when you give him the opportunity. And I think that dribbling-wise, pace-wise, he's pretty solid, he's pretty strong. Could do better when beating his man and taking on his man a bit more often. But he'll learn to do that under Conte. And it's very important for him to get his first goal, because he's going to need to improve his final output if he's going to be the mainstay in the team. And which look, he's always assessing on coming off the bench, having a decent cameo. He's going to want to provide a bit of competition. So hopefully that healthy competition drives both of those players on, because they're both really perfect for that role at left wing back. And I think Reguilon, it's going to be vital for us throughout the season for that position. And him and Emerson, both of them are going to be very, very crucial to how we play. And if they can dominate their areas, then we're going to be very hard to stop with Son, Kane and Lucas in the centre, where the crosses into the box when all 3 of them. It's much better that way than Son crossing it into to just Kane. You know what I mean? All of a sudden we're getting options in the box. They're getting things for the defenders to think about, and it leads to chaos.
Centre backs.
Leads to chaos, like the goal. You saw the goal. Reguilon crossed the ball in, and Kane and Son are causing chaos, and it's harder to defend against. Rather than it feels like Son crossing it in would have been a lot more easier to deal with who was in the box.
Another player who I think deserves a lot of praise at the moment is Eric Dier. I thought Eric Dier was an absolute wall yesterday. Much improved performances, no lapses of concentration. And the thing is with Eric Dier, there seems to be an air of confidence about him at the moment. There really does. He's playing with confidence. He's playing with his head up. And I'm just loving what I'm seeing from Eric Dier at the moment. Let's hope it just continues. But what was your kind of assessment on his performance yesterday?
Yeah, I thought he played well as well. I think he didn't put a foot wrong. I thought he's playing I think in the first half he played a bit too much like a quarterback, because I felt like we were pushed way too deep, and we weren't able to play through the lines. But I did think he's playing a lot more risky passing. His passing has been also a bit improved. I remember a really lovely lofted through ball into Ben Davis, who nearly scored in the second half, and I think he's not scared from his position to play the ball straight into feet into Kane and Son and Lucas. Has definitely been an instruction. I can definitely see that. And the passes he's been doing are pretty solid, actually. On the flip side, I know going forward, Leeds didn't have too many options, so it wasn't going to be his most difficult day, and from that aspect, because they didn't really have Rafinha or Bamford or anyone to really combat him. But he dominated in the centre, absolutely dominated, and didn't give the lead striker any sort of encouragement throughout the game. And I thought most of the crosses that came in as well, he was dealing with that really effectively. And it was a very confident performance from Eric Dier, but he's going to have bigger tests.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely true. I mean, this was a lead side with no strikers.
Exactly.
No strikers and no Rafinha either. So
it's going to be it's hard to judge, really. It's hard to judge too much, make too many conclusions from yesterday, only because of the injuries that Leeds had. Who knows what would have happened if they did have a full team out, if it would have been a different story. But I know it was great to win and great to come back, but the fact we made it so hard for ourselves, you've got to question that as well. So it's hard to make too many sweeping judgments just from the game yesterday.
Yeah, and when you're looking at our next 3 games, Burnley away, Brentford at home, Norwich at home, surely we have to be looking at maximum points from these games. Surely.
Of course. You'd be very disappointed if you dropped any points in those games.
Because then after that, we've got quite a hard run, actually. We've got Brighton away, Leicester away, and then Liverpool at home. And then Palace at home. So, I mean, we need to get these maximum points in these next 3 games. But a few super chats here. Ewan McNamee saying, here's a $5 for Sim for not stealing my girlfriend when she fangirled you in the tap-in queue at half time. Love you, boys. What happened there?
No, it's in the queue. No, it's in the queue at half time. Got some very nice compliments. So there you go. I got her number, so it's all right. No.
You better send that $5 back then. There was another one here from Zakon saying, member for 12 months, by the way, so big up yourself. And he said, I had to become a member for 12 months for him to leave my missus alone. You got off light, Ewan. Sim stealing girlfriends left, right and centre here.
Apparently so. Watch out.
All right, but let's go on to the goal reviews, and then we'll start taking calls and seeing what your guys' opinions on the game last night. But let's go on to the goal analysis.
All right, so we'll start off with the goal which we conceded right at the end of the first half, and as you can see, like if you actually take, this is when Jack Harrison picks up, it was a ball down the line here to Harrison, and he's got quite a bit to do. He's like, Emerson's in a very good position. We got our back five all in a line. You can see Reguilon, Davis, Dier, Tanganga, Emerson. Everyone's pretty controlled. Obviously you got the I think the youngster, the teenager, I can't remember what his name was. He's obviously there. You got to running in. But Dan James is pretty much, he's nailed.
Gelhardt, you mean?
Gelhardt, yeah, that's it. You got Dan James, Reguilon's pretty much got him at the back post here. So there's not real danger. However, unfortunately for Emerson, he did get beat quite easily. Like we should never be in this position here. Well, from being in this position here, like how Harrison is allowed to get into this position here, untroubled, is quite concerning. And Emerson has to watch out. But once he's in this position, I think Tanganga can be a bit tighter to Harrison. If he can just get a bit closer, try his best to block the cross. I think you've obviously got at the back post here, you got a 2-on-2, which obviously caused a bit of trouble. Dier's not really marking anyone, but Davis has got Gelhardt, and then Dan James kind of makes the most of it, darts just ahead of Reguilon, and then that obviously was a great ball by Harrison, to be fair, right into the mixer. Couldn't be more perfect. And then there's Dan James obviously to tap home. But I mean, Dan James is so rapid. Once he gets a run on you, it's very difficult, isn't it, to try to kind of get around him.
But if you want anyone marking him at that point, it's probably Reguilon, because with his pace.
Obviously, there's Dan James who puts it away. But yes, but it's a lot harder when you're running in the
when he's got the run. But Reguilon should be more aware, shouldn't he?
Probably should be more aware. But I think at this point, I think at that point the damage, actually, when you got a player like Dan James, the damage can already be done. I think if it's like when Harrison gets in that position, and there's a ball coming in across the face of goal, if it's perfect, when you got the pace of Dan James, there's very little you can do as a marker apart from try and block the ball from coming in, because he's just so rapid that if the ball is perfect, he's going to get there. He's too quick. And that's exactly what happened at the end of the first half, which Conte actually introduced, said was a good thing. It's very reminiscent. Do you remember last season when what game was it? I think we played Palace. We were 1-0 up against Crystal Palace, and then we were kind of labouring for the rest of the half. Then right at the end of the first half, we concede. I think Benteke scores right at the end of the first half, and it woke us up a bit. And we came out in the second half and scored like 3 goals in the opening 15 minutes. And Mourinho said after the game, it was a good thing we conceded that goal at the end of the first half, because it woke us up a bit. Conte said the same thing. He said we were kind of labouring along in that first half, but that goal really woke us up and it shook us up a bit, and that's kind of maybe what could have driven us to victory. If we look at the build up, this is the goal we scored, the first goal. Lucas Moura plays this ball here down the line. to Harry Kane, who's obviously got Calvin Phillips again, who was man marking him all day.
He was on him
Calvin
like a rash, wasn't he?
Calvin Phillips, and he was doing a fairly decent job to not allow Kane to turn. But in this instance, Kane just nips him ahead of him. It was very, very difficult for Kane to get there, but he does get there just ahead of Calvin Phillips. And not only does he do that, but he actually gets Calvin Phillips for the first time on the turn as well, and he's able to twist him. Calvin Phillips isn't able to retrieve the ball. Kane plays a really nice pass infield to him and Son, which obviously opens up a lot of space. Son lays it off to Harry Winks. And then you'll see again once Winks lays it off here to out wide to Winks lays it off out wide here to Reguilon, who picks the ball up. And now again, as we've seen, as I've told you about against the game against Everton, here's the fullback. And where's the opposite fullback? Right at the back post there. There he is. He's going to be there every single time. You've got and then you've got Son's actually this time hanging around at the back at the just outside the box, but he's still got 3 players in between the 2 fullbacks. As always, you've got 3 attackers in the box. Usually it's Kane, Son and Moura. This time Højbjerg is the one filling in for Son, while Son is just hanging back here at the back post. But yeah, again, that ball is primed for when Reguilon swings it in. You just got so many options in the box that it could fall to, and it causes chaos. Obviously it fell to Lucas Moura after a diving header from Kane, and this is actually a really good pass from Lucas Moura, because he gets one glance at it, but he has to pick Højbjerg out pretty perfectly there, and he's pretty much the only option who's free in the box. And I think he does really, really well to pick him out. And obviously Højbjerg. Also, if you're from this position, it's not the easiest finish, is it?
He kind of scuffed his shot, didn't he?
He scuffs it into the ground, but to get it in amongst all those bodies was not the easiest finish. He was able to get it and make it 1-1. But obviously, all because. Having that fullback at the back post and having those strikers in the box causing havoc and making Leeds make mistakes and make it hard to defend against. Whereas before, under Nuno, we were just very much easy to defend against when crosses were coming into the box.
Person in the box,
exactly. It was terrible. There's just another shot of when the cross comes in. Luckily, as you can see in many in the box, there's Emerson running at the back post. You've got 3 men there. And obviously the ball falls into this area with Kane and Son attacking it. And that obviously, with both of them attacking it and Calvin Phillips not able to get there, that's what causes Lucas to get control of the ball. And obviously then Højbjerg is able to stick it away. And then all of a sudden we're starting to step it up, and it looked like inevitable that we're going to get a goal. Again, look at this. Eric Dier's on the ball in the centre-back position. Oh, that was a little twist. In the centre-back position. And you got, not only do you have Reguilon there, you've got Kane here, you've got Son here, you've got Emerson, who's actually around this area. He's off screen right now. You've got Lucas there, but you've also got Ben Davies over here.
I love that.
There's Ben Davies running in between the lines, and that's what that extra centre back can do when need be. Obviously you got Winks and Højbjerg still sitting, and so it gives Ben Davies in this instance a bit more license to actually get forwards and get in attacking positions. So you've got the left centre back actually becomes an extra player to attack, and we've seen it already this season a few times against Everton, against Vitesse, and now
every single game we've seen Ben Davies in those positions.
Yeah,
so far.
At least a few times he's getting in those attacking positions, and he's becoming an extra option, and he gets on the end of it and nearly scores. Just a poke, just doesn't get past the Leeds keeper. But that was another warning sign about how Ben Davies is getting in these attacking positions and actually being a threat. He could have had, if it wasn't for a bit of luck, he could have had a couple of goals already. Obviously, did he score against Vitesse? Game with his own goal in the end, wasn't it?
No, he didn't score against Vitesse. Didn't they give it to Harry Kane in the end?
I think it was an own goal, wasn't it? Didn't they give an own goal?
Potentially, yeah. I think they.
I think it was an own goal.
I think Harry Kane was the closest to it because Ben Davies scuffed his shot completely, and then it fell to Harry Kane, and then it hit the player and went in.
Okay, but yeah, with a bit of luck, it could have been his goal as well
If he would have shot it properly, yeah.
He's really getting in those positions, Ben Davies, and he's becoming a real threat. And obviously for the last goal, not much to analyse. All I would say here is here's Reguilon, right? And it's all a case of you think it's luck that he gets on the end of it and it falls to him, which obviously it is, but you make your own luck. Look how many players are ahead of him. He's over here right now. So you've got all the players in the wall. You've got this guy ahead of it, Forshaw. He's marking him. He's ahead of him. But Reguilon was the one who was most aware. And once the ball here comes back off the post, he's the one who's followed it in over here, Reguilon. He's now ahead of him. He's the one who's most alert. And obviously he's there to tap it in. So it's not a case of always just being lucky. It's you make your own luck. He's the one throwing it in. He was the one on being alert, and that's exactly what he said Conte was telling him about as well, because that's very crucial to his role when he's going to be attacking at the back post. You've got to be following things in. You've got to be the most alert. You've got to be more alert than your opposition to make sure you get to the ball first, and you're the one tapping it into the back post and not the defender clearing it. Yeah. And that was a key example of that with Reguilon. It seemed like just a bit of luck. It fell to him falling off the post, but he was the one, only one really, following it in and making sure he was getting there first. So I think it was a case of making your own luck.
It is, because if you don't take that risk, you're not going to get that reward at the end of the day. And, he followed up on that free kick and he got his just desserts. And I think that it capped off a really good performance from him, because I thought he was literally non-stop running for the whole game. Even in the first half when we were under the cosh, I thought he was doing well. So I think Reguilon, we earmarked him as a player that could really improve under Conte. And I think we're already seeing that, aren't we?
Definitely. And that's it. I think
I want to talk to you just before we end this bit about. We saw the passion from Conte at the end of the game, going up to every player like with that super aggressive passion. He goes up to Bergwijn and Matt Doherty after the game, and they just seem really reserved, not a smile on their face. I mean, do you read too much into that?
No, I wouldn't. But obviously, when you're a player and you're not in the team, it's obviously difficult, isn't it? You there are all egos in football, and when you're a player getting paid big amounts of money, and you especially at Bergwijn's age, he's 23 years old. He wants to be in the team. He's a Dutch international, just scored the winning goal to take his country to a World Cup. Just a few days ago, and all of a sudden he's on the bench again, and he's struggling to get in the team, and he doesn't get any minutes at all, and that must be frustrating. How much you want to be part of the team and you want to be supportive. I'm sure he is supportive, but it must be frustrating for him to not get any minutes. And I wouldn't read too much about him being unhappy or anything like that just off that one moment. I'll just see it as him naturally not being happy to not get on the pitch, and that's all it is. I'm sure once he's part of the team and playing minutes, that will all change. But as of yesterday, I'm sure he was on a massive high coming into the game on Sunday, and to not get on the pitch must have been very disappointing for him.
It was a brilliant performance from him for Holland, obviously scoring the goal that sent his country to the World Cup, and then getting a brilliant assist. Although did you see the assist from Bergwijn for
Depay? Bit of a sweaty goal.
The assist though was literally the problem I've had with Bergwijn for so long, because he runs the length of the pitch, right? And he has Depay to the left. He could have taken the shot on himself and probably scored, but the assist was I thought the pass was just a bit overhit as well. So I think it was a bit lucky there, Steven Bergwijn, with that assist. But he did well to get in that position, that's for sure. But anyway, that is our goal analysis, and now let's move on to some call-ins. And just before we do, I believe my grandpa just messaged me saying that he's in the waiting room with a blank screen. Can you see him? No.
Try and get him on, yeah. Try and see if you can find him.
Oh, let's get on Aravind while I try to sort out my grandpa.
Hello.
Aravind, how you doing, brother?
Doing fine.
You've frozen.
You've frozen?
Can you? Hello.
Hello?
You're frozen.
Okay.
Do
Once.
you want to try reconnect? Because
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll try to get you back on, Aravind. Okay.
I'm just sending the link. Try get Alex on.
I'll get Alex on. Hi, Alex. How you doing, my friend?
Good morning.
Morning.
Fine. Better than yesterday, but never mind about that.
Exactly. Look, it was wasn't a most vintage performance yesterday, but what did you take away from the game? Were you more happy we were able to turn it around and get the 3 points, or did we make it harder than it needed to be?
I love your question, Sim. It's the first time. Well, let me rewind it. The first half, I didn't watch it. I was at work. But yeah, but I.
You must be delighted then with the performance.
Yeah, of course. But the switch, I think the switch from the both halves, it's too much of a switch. It's really down to the manager, and maybe he's also well surrounded. Of course, it's not only Conte, but mainly.
What when you watch the second half, then what were you seeing from the team in terms of how we're attacking Leeds or how we're playing with the ball that impressed you?
Yeah, tactically, I thought you would revert to the 3-5-2 earlier, but now how you can see, I don't know against better opposition, but how you see Sonny and Lucas coming inside and stuff. I think this setup is better, especially because wide offensive players we only have Sonny, but I think Sonny should start getting more to the center, despite he's really fast, really good. But he's not getting younger, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
A couple of players who've come under a lot of criticism over the last couple of years is Eric Dier and Harry Winks. First of all, what did you make out of Eric Dier's performance? Because in my opinion, it was kind of a bit of a prime Toby performance yesterday from Eric Dier. What did you make out from it?
I didn't watch the first half again. I hope he made some blocks like he does quite often. If yesterday was better, then good. But yesterday, second half, he didn't have a sniff at the defense to do work to do. From what I saw. So I'm not the best person to judge.
And in terms of the second half performance, the second half performance you saw from Harry Winks yesterday, is that enough to kind of work his way into Antonio Conte's plans?
I just think that Winks is suited for a more packed midfield. He can just make those little. It's kind of smart passes, dictates a bit the play against when we have the ball, basically, which can link up. We can make better link ups and stuff. I think with Winks, and Dombele is more offensive. I don't think he can be that. You saw the average position from Winks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dombele cannot. He should be further on the pitch, but then he needs the aggressiveness from a Conte side because if the flying fullbacks are too high and stuff, well, you know what I mean.
It's almost like there's a decision to make for Conte. Either he plays like the 5-3-2 with another midfielder a bit further forward, like an Ndombele, then you have to leave out Lucas Moura or Steven Bergwijn, or you include a winger like Lucas or Steven Bergwijn, and you have to probably take out a creative midfielder like Ndombele. Like who would you rather see in the team under Conte?
It's really hard, but we can rotate. Big teams rotate. Tottenham are a huge club, so you need a good squad and just rotate and players to be Sorry about my English is. I actually work every day with French language and Portuguese.
It's all right.
No problem, man. No problem. No problem.
The players need to feel con- need to
Concerned?
feel concerned that they are part of it. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, Alex.
Yeah.
Finally, who was your standout performer, man, of the match yesterday?
I'm not suited again because of the
Well, second half. Who was the best player in the second half?
Lucas Moura for sure. After thinking about it, you have to say it, Lucas Moura.
All right, Alex.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure, my friend. And we shall see you soon. We'll see you soon.
Come on, you Spurs, man.
Come on, you Spurs.
Nice one, Alex.
All right, and it's that time of the day again. It's time to get Grandpa Brian back on the stream. Grandpa, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. What a fantastic performance yesterday. The whole match was a fantastic performance in many ways, in my view. The outstanding performer was somebody called Conte. His behavior, his mindset, and the way he worked and the way he celebrated and the way he was pushing them all the time was just unbelievable.
Grandpa, he wasn't doing that for any, well, he was doing that for a very specific reason, and he was trying to celebrate your diamond wedding anniversary. That's what it was.
you told him about it, did you?
Yeah, exactly. I gave him a little text before the game. I was like, up the passion today. It's Grandpa's diamond wedding anniversary, and he duly delivered.
Yeah, I thought just now. I've got the television on. Just to say that I thought in the first half you've got to give some credit to our defensive performance, because they were attacking very, very heavily, and we, apart from Emerson, who really was the fault in the goal, I thought that the rest of the defense were backing each other up. So they were getting past the first person, and then there was one or two or three people there to prevent it. So it was a good defensive performance in the first half. Although it wasn't such a good one going forward. And I think that's a point to remember.
Grandpa, just can you turn the TV off, because we're just getting a bit of sound from it.
Yeah, I think that's a point to remember.
Grandpa, just can you turn the TV off?
Yeah, it's off.
There you go.
All right, brilliant.
That's a lot better. Thank you.
Sorry, what were you about to say?
I was just, I think, what did I get to the end of saying what great performance in the defence in the first half?
Yeah.
But going forward is very interesting, because when Reguilon was announced as the man of the match, your stand-in commentators were a bit disappointed, but I'd had him written down as my man of the match. I thought he was just brilliant. I thought that, there's other good performances I'll come on to in a minute, but I thought he was just brilliant. It was his assist that got Holberg the first goal, and then of course he got the second goal himself, and that anticipation of getting that goal was brilliant, because if you watch it back, you'll see he started moving before they took the kick. He started going forward so he could get there, and it was miles ahead of anybody else. It wasn't close even. He had plenty of time to spare, and I think that's great credit to him. And I thought he was brilliant. I thought Kane is getting very much back to his best. He was in amongst it all the time. He didn't get a goal, but my goodness me, he nearly did.
He was working hard, wasn't he, Grandpa?
He was working hard all the time. Back in defence, there was one big header that he made, the clearance, when they were going forward well, which I remember. And again, I have absolute admiration for Holberg in that game. He was just outstanding, better in the second half than the first half, but he was in the game all the time, pushing it, getting it around, and scored a goal. So I thought those three players were outstanding. And then of course Moura was brilliant. Son had one or two good runs, very good. And I thought that if you were to choose a player that was the worst in the match, it was the one they took off when they took Tanganga off. He didn't contribute at all.
But when Sanchez came on, though, he added something really different to the back line, didn't he? And he was very aggressive, winning a lot of headers. Played really well, didn't he?
He did. I think he'd become a permanent.
Yeah.
We've got. It's interesting because we've got really quite a good team. I think our fears that we really had to buy in a lot, I think are going away because I think Conte is just so passionate. He's just a brilliant coach. To do all the praise as well as the punishment. I mean, I know he's a hard master, but he gives it back if they do it. And,
his energy is infectious, isn't it? You can just see it off the touchline.
It's unbelievable. And when you were at the match, you probably didn't see it as well as you could see it on television. It was absolutely extraordinary. You couldn't take your eyes off him. I'm sure the players couldn't take that. And the way he brought the crowd in when things were getting a little bit dicey and he wanted a little bit more pressure on them, he brought them in. It was just fantastic. And the fans responded. I'm sure you did that being at the match.
I most definitely did. You definitely know I would have responded to that. But Cody Mack with a comment for you, Grandpa, and he says, "Big up Grandma for putting up with Grandpa for so long."
That's what I've said in my speech.
Yeah, everyone should put in the comments happy anniversary to my grandpa and my grandma, and then their diamond anniversary. So obviously I want to say congratulations again on camera. I'll say that I've said it enough off camera, but happy anniversary to you, Grandpa. I hope you had a really nice weekend, and thankfully you got the best present of all 3 points.
Absolutely fantastic, and it was just great. It was great to watch, and I can say I work in the leadership space, and the leadership there from Conte was second to none. If other business leaders could bring out that passion and that caring, because he's caring for the ones that aren't doing well. He doesn't just pick them up behind. He actually cares. He actually wants them to do better, and they recognise that. And that makes them do better. So great leader. We're very lucky at the moment. Let's make sure Manchester United don't take him.
Well, after 2 games, that would be something.
Well, I'll tell you what. If Conte doesn't get what he wants in January, they could take him off in January. To be fair. But we'll have to see how that one plays out. But Grandpa, always a pleasure having you on, and congratulations on your wedding anniversary once again.
See you again soon, guys.
See you soon, Grandpa. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Another super chat here from Jason Green saying, "What a game. About time Spurs had a manager who revved up the fans and pushed on the players. The old passionate Spurs is finally returning. Come on, you Spurs."
Definitely, and that's what I think has re-energized the fan base. When you got someone like Conte on the touchline, it's hard not to be passionate. It's hard not to get right into the game and just fully behind the team, is it?
Yeah, I mean, me and you were on our way to the Man United game a couple of weeks ago, and I was complaining to you about how the passion has gone out of the game and how the passion has gone throughout the stands, and the Spurs stadium is like lacking in passion. I mean, that's been brought back, and that was brought back yesterday. I mean, not to the levels that maybe it was, but I think that Conte has definitely added a new element to this fan base. He really has.
Definitely, and it's something we desperately needed. We needed that shot on the arm, and there's no one better than Conte to bring it. And let's just hope that he can really bring this team on now, because if he can't, no one else can.
All right, let's bring on Aravind. I can see his camera's much better now. He's not stalling. Aravind, how you doing, my friend?
Doing well. Yes.
All smiles after 3 points yesterday. Analyze that game for me. What were your thoughts on it?
We got a shot on target. That was the first thing I celebrated after 3 games of horrific performances. But I really want to say something more than the goals. Antonio Conte has a system for each and every player, which I didn't see, even though Jose Mourinho had a good run. He only brought best out of Kane and Son. And over here, I can see that the total team is playing. And most important thing is that I would want Kane and Son to score every game. It would be good, but there should be other players who needs to contribute in the team to score goals. And it's so shocking that yesterday I'm seeing for the first time that Kane and Son is not on the score sheet, but we still scored 2 goals. So that's one of the most positive signs which I think this team needs to have is that if they both are not having the shooting boots on that day, someone needs to step up, and that's something which is the more really good positive thing. Once a team does that, then the opposition team will be worried. Okay, I can't give space to Reguilon, I can't give space to Son, I can't give space to Kane. Then once and that's why Leeds were making mistakes, because a lot of people were in the box, they didn't know who to mark, who would score the goal. And this is what I want to see from the team. I just don't want two players to succeed and other nine over there just strolling around, not doing anything, and just going around. And we need to play as a team. And then I saw that from the fans, from the manager, from the players. We played as a whole unit, as a team, and that's the first positive sign that needs to go forward from here. And hopefully, there's better things to come.
When's the last time that we scored more than a goal in a game, so 2 goals minimum, and we won the game and Kane or Son didn't score?
I can't think of any game recently.
I can't think of any game. Can you, Sid?
The Wolves game, but
that
was Dele Alli scoring the penalty.
Did Son not score that game?
No, I don't think so. It was Højbjerg scored and an own goal, wasn't it?
Højbjerg, an own goal.
And
so then that's when it was.
Only a few weeks ago. And then the Wolves game where Ali scored the penalty, I think so.
That was 1-0 though. That was 1-0,
yeah,
right?
the 1-0, yeah. But generally, if you see like in a span of 10-20 games, 4 to 5 games, you will have minimum any one of them having to be in the score sheet mostly. So, but that's the good positive sign. And if you see the other teams who are in the top 4, who challenge for the league and the top 4, they don't depend on Werner needs to score. Yes, for Liverpool, Salah and Mane scores, but then you have Jota who scores, and there are a few goals which chip him from the midfield, and that's something I really want that to start from now. That is that. Yes, Kane and Son should score 15, 16 goals. They need to contribute the most, but there needs to be other players who step up and say that, look, even I can do the job, and that's the most important thing. And that's the thing which I really liked. And Ben Davies coming in the box and trying to score a goal. That's the most. I couldn't imagine that to happen in the Spurs shirt, where Ben Davies comes forward to try to score a goal, bring the effort. It's not even Davies. I was seeing that not even him. There was minimum one centre back who was pushing forward and bombing forward. Either was Jaffet in the first half. Sometimes Dier was pushing forward. Sometimes Ben Davies was pushing forward. So I think so. It'll be really positive when we can dominate the ball. We can actually score more than 2 goals. And I think so the yesterday's game should 2-1 is not a result which I would say that we actually the thing is that we're getting used to the formation. There were a lot of judgments in their passing which was either mispassed or not seen. So I think so these few things will be fixed by Conte in few more games, and there'll be a much better performances. And yesterday's game, we should have scored three goals or 4 goals, where Reguilon didn't pass to Emerson, and I saw Conte getting pissed in the first half. Like, there was a clear chance, and Kane not passing in the last minute. So there were a lot of chances which we didn't create in the team, which should have, if it was Conte in another, if this was his first team and Conte in another 2 to 3 games, or 1 month or 2 months, that chances would have been buried. So there's a lot of good signs which I can see from the team that I have not seen from Nuno. As much as I like Mourinho had the winning games, but it's a really good team performance, and I'm it's really exciting to watch the Spurs. Since Pochettino, we used to play as a team. It's totally night and day since it's been 2 years since I've seen my team playing as a team, proper team, motivated, fans motivated, and hopefully good signs. And thanks to Paratici to get this done. And I still can't believe Antonio Conte managing. It's, oh my goodness me.
And you think, players yesterday, Ben Davies and Harry Winks both starting a Premier League game. A few weeks ago, if I would have said that, you probably would have, hid under your couch. But what do you think? There's a pathway for them back into the team now with the way they maybe played?
I look, they had a good performance, but I would not jump in the guns and say that they are the solutions to the team. There's still, and that's still a bit negatives, which is that our midfield needs to improve. we need to still develop. As much as I like Wings, he had a good game yesterday, but if we want to challenge for the top four and if we want to go ahead and win cups with this team, that we still need to move forward with Harry Winks and Ben Davis because they've been here for a long time, and I think so. I can see that's the maximum potential they can reach. As much as Conte can train and make them, he can just make him as a better player from whatever talent and whatever things he has. But if you want to go the extra step, we still need to invest in the squad. And as much as Conte has been passionate, he knows that the January transfer window there needs to be some serious reinforcements, or else it's going to be tough for us. And you can see Harry Winks will perform for 3 to 4 games, and then it'll be the same thing again in another 3 to 4 games. So it's a good performance, but we still need a lot of reinforcements. But till the December, I think so we can get a good run of results till December and get the deals done. And I want this club to do. If you know that there's some serious problems and serious reinforcement needed in midfield, we need to get the players done, or at least get something done by December and not wait till January. And I want to see that as an improvement from the from the squad team. And talking about people not for us not winning the cup, and I think so the main difference from how Tottenham is going to grow from here to now is Paratici, because he's the only person who's going to make us from where we are as Spurs now to the next level. And I can see a lot of positive signs from since he has come to since he has what transfers he has done, what he's influencing Levy, how can he can get Conte. And I'm really excited, and I'm really excited that Paratici, if he's been backed and Conte has been backed, and we can do something, will be a different team in another year. I can guarantee that.
How many signings are you expecting in January?
We're not going to do too much in January, but if we can get Vlahovic in, someone for if we can at least get I really want a midfielder. As much as I would want Vlahovic to get in the January, if he's not possible, I would really want a midfielder and another strong centre back. Uh, and if I think so, we'll do max of 2 signings. I don't see our club doing 3 or 4 signings in January. So I would want a midfielder and a proper midfielder who can play in Conte's system. As much as I like Højbjerg, he's not suiting the system really well, and we need to see in a few games. And Ndomble can't play that role. There's no like a natural player in our team who can play that role. As much as we can say Skip, Højbjerg, but they're not creative. They're not creative, and I don't want Harry Kane to drop. I still want him to play in the box, and someone from the midfield needs to create. If we have that, then we can see a bit of Ali coming in the team to play a different role. So these are some options which we can do, but for that we need a strong midfield.
All right. Aravind, always great to have you on, my friend, and we'll see you next time.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
Nice one, Aravind.
Always great getting Aravind on. Lloyd Savine with the super chat saying, your thoughts on Poch possibly going to Manchester United? A lot of rumours doing the rounds in the last 24 hours that he could be going there in the summer.
I mean, he's saying could be going there now.
Oh, really?
That's what they're saying, but
it makes sense though, doesn't it?
Well, he's not. We all know he's not happy there. He wasn't happy there in the summer. I don't think much has changed in that respect. I think it's a very pressurising job there. You know, you just have to win all the time. And look, let's be honest, he's not doing a terrible job there. Like, he's topped by quite a while. Champions League, you know, they beat Man City, didn't they? Yeah. Although they have drawn to, I think they drew to Bruges and maybe Leipzig as well. No, they beat Leipzig in the end, but
they're top of their Champions League group, aren't they?
Are they top? I think ahead of City.
Let's have a look. But either way,
he's in the top two. Like, he's not doing bad. So I just think like nothing's ever enough at that club. At PSG, you know, Tuchel, he got to the Champions League final, and a few months later, was let go for Pochettino. And
they're second by a point.
So I think a lot of the time, maybe you when you watch PSG, they are like going 1-0 down and they're conceding a lot of chances, but they do end up usually winning the game by and large.
They always concede a goal.
They do always concede, but they do win more often than not. Every week, pretty much. It's very rare they lose. They lost to Rennes, I remember, but it's still very rare.
11 points clear at the top of their league.
So they're smashing it. So I don't know why he's constantly. And apparently the PSG fans just really don't like him. Like, they don't like how he plays, and they just don't like his style of play. I mean, I don't know. That's just reality. So if they're really not happy with him, even with these results, like, what can he expect? I guess.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on to our next guest, and that is Karim. How's it going, Karim? I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm on mute. Hello, guys.
Yeah. How you doing, Karim?
I'm good, man. How are you guys?
Yeah, all good, man. After 3 points yesterday, can't really complain. But what did you make out of the performance yesterday?
Well, the performance.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, the game of two halves. Okay, the first half was shocking. I mean, we weren't really competing. We weren't intense enough. I think Conte said that too after the game. It just wasn't good enough in the first half. Obviously, second half we've improved. But for me, generally speaking, like, it's very important we got these 3 points. If we want to challenge for the top 4, especially considering the weekend, United dropped points, Arsenal dropped points, West Ham dropped points. So it was very crucial we get these 3 points. But for me, the win doesn't like paper over the cracks. There were still a lot of things that we do have to improve. I mean, personnel-wise, and obviously performance, intensity, and competitiveness. But I do want to give respect to just Leeds and especially Marco Bielsa, because in that first half, if you realize we weren't pressing as much, we were dropping back a lot. I mean, and that was because they played a 3 at the back, and then they just overloaded us in the midfield and the defense, which caused our defenders and midfielders to drop back a lot. So what I'm saying is that just give respect to them in the first half. Second half improved massively, and I'm really proud of the team for getting the 3 points, but there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, when you look at the result yesterday, is it hard to read too much into it, considering how depleted Leeds were? Like, should we have made it such hard work for ourselves? Always impressive the way we turned it around in the end.
No, it wasn't impressive how we turned it around. The game should have been won. Like, we should have competed from the first minute, and we had the better side. We should have won. But we made it harder on ourselves by not competing and not being physical enough in the first half. And then they scored the goal at the end of the first half, and it's almost as if we needed them to score just for us to start playing well. Like, that was like the shocking bit. I mean, I don't know why it took us so long to start the game. This season it takes us long to start games, and there's just a few players I do want to talk about that played. For example, Tanganga, right? I mean, I don't put him entirely at fault for that first goal, but Tanganga in those first 3 games, like, if we had that type of player, he wouldn't let that cross go by. I just know that for a fact. And also going forward, he doesn't really offer much. So I think he needs a loan. I think for me, he's too up, he's too down. If we give him out on loan and he plays consistently at, let's say, a lower tier club in the Premier League or like high in the Championship, he could build some confidence and maybe some consistency and have more experience to go through these up and downs, like, at a less volatile rate. And then the whole idea about Winks and Højbjerg. Winks, I don't think they were good. I mean, people were complaining about Winks and Skip and Højbjerg at the Everton game, but yesterday I don't think they were much better. I mean, for me, I kind of missed Skip yesterday. I didn't like Winks' performance. Although he improved in the second half, it just wasn't much. And again, Lucas loses the ball too many times. Doesn't offer much off the ball. He played better in the second half, but he also was shocking. I mean, I just had to get that off my chest. Like, those people, I noticed them yesterday a lot, and Lucas especially, although he did assist at the end. I mean, it was really a game of two halves. First half, everyone poor. Second half, everyone kind of improved, but it just doesn't paper over the cracks. I still see some players needing to be benched, dropped, or we need to improve in some positions.
But when you're looking at kind of how we've been this season, lack of creation, lack of heart, lack of spirit, I mean, do you not give them some praise in terms of it's a step in the right direction, especially that second half performance?
For sure. I mean, this is a step up. We won a game and we had plenty of shots on goal, on target. I mean, four 4 for us is like 400% more than the last game.
We've the last 3 games.
Yeah, from the last 3 games, we've improved a lot, and I'm glad to see this. I'm glad to see Conte screaming on the touchline. I mean, I said this when Conte was first approved on the show. That I'm happy to see a manager on the touchline that's going to be screaming at the players, shouting at them, and even get the crowd going. So, I mean, it was just overall improvement. Overall, last week, I mean, 2 weeks ago against Everton, it was an improvement. We just didn't put the ball in the back of the net. I mean, and we didn't have a shot on target. But like this week, we created more on the goal, but we just started a bit too slow for me, and it kind of bothered me. And there was also just like certain types of players that like had the heavy touch or made the wrong passes, wrong decision in passing. Like, it was all over the pitch. I mean, Kane even did that. He was holding on to the ball too long. I just don't understand it. But you know, with time, again, this is all going to improve. I do agree that we're going to, in 1 year's time, we're going to change. We're not going to be the same side. And if we want to challenge for top 4, the next few games need to have maximum points in order to challenge for the top 4, basically. I mean, I think we could do it if we sign 1 or 2 more players in January.
Yeah, I completely agree. But yeah, that's it.
All right, Karim, always a pleasure to get you on, my friend. Really great views, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys next time. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on. Nice one, Karim.
All right, let's keep going, and let's go to Sean.
Hi, guys.
How's it going, Sean?
I'm well, thanks, guys. How are you?
Yeah, good. Smiling everyone after 3 points yesterday. Back to winning ways at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I mean, how did you assess that performance yesterday? Because our last caller, Karim, wasn't really happy with the performance. But I think most Spurs fans that we've been speaking to were not happy with that first half, but really happy with the second half. How did you assess it?
Yeah, I genuinely agreed, like pretty much with everything that Karim said. I thought he was kind of spot on and you know, stole a lot of the things I was going to mention. You know, I was at the game yesterday. I thought that the atmosphere was weird. Like in the area of the stand that I was in, I thought.
Where did you sit, Sean?
Sort of southwest corner.
Oh, that's where we sit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was sort of in the second tier. In sort of row 1. But I just felt like the area around everyone was kind of on edge. It wasn't like the kind of celebration of this new kind of the return of the Messiah that I was hoping for. I didn't feel like the noise, the crowd wasn't really kind of getting up for it. I felt like it was going to be something more than what actually materialized. And then the energy from the crowd wasn't there. And I think that may have played some sort of part into why we were slow to start. I don't know, or maybe the slow start resulted in the kind of tempestuous atmosphere that I kind of felt around, and I got sucked into it. You know, I was getting quite annoyed by the structure of, you know, you're playing Leeds, who are an aggressive, expansive team wherever they play, which offers opportunities for anyone who's playing against them if they want to go toe to toe. And you know, I felt like when you have like it felt like in the first half it was 5 at the back and then like a flat 5. There were like Emerson on the right wasn't in any way kind of trying to move up the field, and Reggie on the left was, you know, in a similar role. It was flat 5, and then you've got, you know, Winks and Højbjerg, and I don't know if they know which one of those two is supposed to be the one that at least drifts a little bit forward when the opportunity's there. So it seemed like it was a back 7 against a Leeds team, and you know, whether or not it's, you know, they haven't figured it out yet, or whether it's, you know, people are scared to make mistakes, I don't know. But I feel like you have to take a bit of risk, and against a team like Leeds at home, it's the perfect game where you can take a bit more risk than we did in the first half, and it seemed incredibly like flaccid, you know, and kind of lacking creation. Second half, everything changed, right? Everything that the crowd were behind it, the energy was far better, and obviously, you know, the first 5 minutes of the second half were important, but and it worked out okay, you know. But the only real, like, the major positive, it was awesome to see a manager so pumped up, so enthusiastic, you know, and that kind of energy is infectious, you know, and I hope that that's going to be a catalyst for what we need to see, because it doesn't feel like it naturally is coming from the team at the moment. And Yeah, I mean that's kind of the overall thing as like as an individual, kind of player for player. I still have massive concerns about Emerson. I don't feel like I know a lot of people on the show here are very pleased that we found somewhat of a replacement for Aurier, but I don't feel like Emerson, in my opinion, has done much that's given me much confidence. I don't think he hasn't shown anything to me going forward that's better than Aurier. And defensively, I think he's incredibly suspect. Like I feel like he gets beaten in most of the games at least once or twice. And I've mentioned this before. Sorry, I'm on this rant now. I'm going to pause for feedback in a second.
Go for it.
I do feel like that I've said this to you guys before. I feel like the right back position in a Premier League team is arguably the most important position on the pitch, because it's an opportunity for offensive opportunities, but actually for most teams, the left wing forward is usually their strongest player and their most creative, outlet. And so the right back of all the successful teams is one of the best players in the pitch, and we are miles away from having a right back that I have confidence in.
The thing is with Emerson, right, he's come in from a foreign league. It's always going to take him time to settle in. And yes, he wasn't the greatest yesterday. I'll give you that one. But I do think before the international break, he put in a through string of performances where you could see really what he offers to us. And I think that he's put in some really good performances, albeit, yes, yesterday wasn't the greatest performance from him. But I think we need to bide our time with Emerson, because he is coming from a foreign league. And I do see attributes there that he can do well for us. I really do. Don't know about what you think about Emerson.
Yeah, I think he's shown potential for me, actually. Yesterday, for the goal, he did worry me, because that should never have happened.
Yeah.
How the goal went in, how he got beaten so easily by Harrison. But I think in general, I think he's going to be a very important player for us, and I think he's going to grow even more the more game time he gets. His first few weeks were very difficult for him, but I think the more game time he's getting, I think the better he's getting in general. So I'll just say wait a bit longer, be a bit more patient, because I think he could be a very good player for us. In terms of comparing him to Aurier, I think you do make some good points. I think in terms of at the back, like obviously Aurier will have those massive screw ups, which we haven't seen from Emerson. But in generalities, Aurier was a fairly difficult fullback to beat, whereas Emerson has been beaten a few times, and I can see your point there. And going forward, I think Aurier did show at the moment a bit more than Emerson has shown. But I think once Conte has got some time with Emerson, I think you're going to see a different end product from him.
Yeah, I hope so. I really do. I just think it's such a critical part of the team. And like I said, I take your point. He's new. Give the guy time. Just as of yet, it's still, I think, a weak spot in the overall unit that I don't think has been solved. And the other area, I've also come on before and mentioned to you, I feel like Mora's Lucas's best position was in that kind of 10, that kind of in the center, and after yesterday and a couple of recent performances, it's a weird one for me, because I feel like whenever he's on the wing, whenever he's on the right or on the left, when he does that flip, he has the ability to go missing. And so that was the main contributing factor, that when he does go central and he's pivotal, he's so creative, and he can turn on a sixpence and draw fouls, and all of those positives are obvious, right? But you guys mentioned when I posited that to you before, the thing that lets him down is his delivery, right? He doesn't have the ability as number 10 to be consistently accurate and create passes and through balls and all those things. And I think yesterday, proved your point, and shone a light on that. And it makes me wonder, if he doesn't have that ability yet in his career, is he going to find it? And if he's not good enough at that, then he's not right for the 10 role. But if he goes missing on the wings, then that's an issue. And the gaping hole in the Tottenham creative side is replacing Eriksen. Ndombele hasn't done it for me yet, in a team that where Conte is going to prioritize fitness and try to improve that kilometers covered. I've always thought that Ndombele, he's a heavy fella. coming from someone who is a heavy fella, it's difficult to move around the difficult to move around the pitch, right? I get it. I feel his pain, but if you're going to be a central part of that, aggressive, fluid, and speedy team, then I don't know if Ndombele is going to necessarily be able to offer what Conte would look for. And so I feel like the most important thing, I think it was the guy before Kareem, who always says amazing things. Would Vlahovic be the best way to spend 70 million in the summer? As much as it would be fantastic to have him, there is probably more need to fill the spots in the creative role that we lack massively.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I see your point. And looking at like how we're playing, like there is a bit of a decision to make, because we could probably fit another creative player like an Lo Celso or an Ndombele, but it would probably mean sacrificing one of the front three. And do you think that's the way forward for us, or do you think we have to persist with having this front three at the moment, and then you're probably stuck with Winks and Højbjerg or Højbjerg and Skip in a pivot?
Well, I tend to think that having two DMCs or two players, whether it's Højbjerg and Winks, or whether it's Skip, or any one of those, that combination, I don't like it if we're going to have wing backs that are more inclined to sit back like they have. I feel like they have to be given the license to run forward. I think, like I say, against the Leeds, it's a perfect opportunity. There is no team that is more open to taking on risk, right? Like I'd rather us play more expansive football, almost like the Leeds ethos. We'll concede one, but we'll score two. That's okay. But at the moment, I don't feel like there is enough confidence, and we're scared at the back. And I don't like having that kind of the two central midfielders, both of which are not sure who's the one who's going to kind of bleed forward. And if you're going to stick with those two, then you do need to have the three that we currently have up front. I don't know whether or not, swapping, maybe bringing Lo Celso or Ndombele in for one of either Skip, Højbjerg or Winks. I think that you don't need both. I think you have to have, you need one, but you have to have something more creative until January opens up, and hopefully.
He just doesn't trust Ndombele or Lo Celso, does he? In a two, to kind of patrol the midfield and add that steal, does he? That's why he always has two of Skip, Højbjerg or Winks pretty much there all the time. That's who we trust, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's on them, right? Like Lo Celso, he does it on international duty, right? And I think that there's something going on with those players that have all the ability in the world but haven't yet turned up this season, and arguably didn't last season either. I don't know what the solution is. Like I'd lean to your experience and your expertise. I just feel like it's too, and the second half was much better, but I still think we flattered to deceive. I think Leeds were pretty average yesterday, and any other team that we're trying to compete with would have knocked 3 or 4 past that Leeds team yesterday. So even though we're happy that we got a win, and we're pumped that we saw Conte with the energy it leans well going into the next run of fixtures. I think that it wasn't as, there's more negatives out of yesterday's game, I think, as miserable as it sounds, than there were positives to take away.
But Sean, we had 4 shots on target.
Yeah, I know. And that is a really sad state of affairs, that's something that has to be mentioned.
Very true. Very true. But Sean, always a pleasure to have you on, my friend, and I'm sure we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. Sean. Have a good day.
Up the Spurs, come on.
Come on, you Spurs.
Who have we got on next? Good old Brad Matthews. Brad, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. It's Monday, day off, the sun's shining. Tottenham have won. Things couldn't be better. But no,
we had 4 shots on target.
We had 4 shots on target. Yes,
hope
amazing.
you haven't had any ketchup today.
Well, yeah, this is it. It's the ketchup, or the anti-ketchup and mayonnaise army, isn't it, at the moment? But yeah, no, it's as the great philosopher and poet Dier said, things can only get better. And I thought yesterday, obviously the first half we all know was rubbish, and at half time I was sort of thinking, great manager, but same team, get rid of them all in January. But by the end of the game, I was a lot more optimistic. I thought the second half they fought. I didn't think they believed in the first half, and I think a lot of us, certainly me watching, was sort of because we all expected so much yesterday. I mean, my prediction for the game was a 4-1 win. So that's how, and I'm normally pessimistic, and I just thought that everyone was expecting this, going to wipe them aside, and we didn't, and I think that's what disappointed everybody. And at half time, it's like, oh, gee, it's the same old, same old. But Conte made the changes. He made the tactical changes, and he got the mentality up. And in the second half, they started to believe. I still don't think it's 100% there, but they started to believe that they can win. And they just fought and fought and fought and got the win. So it wasn't pretty, but they fought, and that to me is at the start of a good sign. And it's almost like we're going to have half the season. The half season that Conte's there is almost like a pre-season. It's going to take him until the summer to work out who he can trust, who he can't, and sort of get the tactics involved, get them all knowing what tactics he's playing and getting used to it. I mean, let's face it, he hasn't really had any training sessions with the whole team.
Yeah.
Because the 2 weeks he's had half the team missing on international duty. So I thought yesterday I was pleased that we can, all jokes aside, we can get better, and with Conte, he's got the record, so you can trust him. It's like when Nuno or Mourinho or make substitution, why is he doing this? With Conte, I'm thinking, well, he knows what he's doing.
You can't question the man, can you?
Exactly, because he's got the record. It's like, what do I know? I watch the games. He wins titles in every country, sort of thing. So I'm fully behind him. And yeah, we all got about the passion and that. That was just brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. I mean, I sit in the West Stand lower, so I can sort of see the actual boxes and that, which he never stands in. He literally stands on the touchline.
Yeah, never. Yeah.
Yeah, and you spend half the match watching him, sort of thing. It's brilliant. But I loved what he said in the pre-match press conference, where he said that what happens on the pitch, that's the end product, but it's all of the training, it's all of the fitness, it's all of the mentality, it's all of the crowd, it's everything goes in. Everyone believes as a team, as a club, as one. Everyone's included in that, and that ends up on the pitch. It's all these little teeny things that he seems to have there that I think it points good for the future.
And you said it wasn't pretty, and it was hard fought, but it wasn't the prettiest win. Do you think that's just going to be the case from now until at least January, where we can get some reinforcements in, and maybe Conte can get a couple of at least one or two of his players in through the door until we properly see a Conte team? It might be this way for the next few weeks or so.
Without a doubt. I mean, the first half, and to a certain degree, the second half, it was like a polo formation, a hole in the middle. There's no link between the defence and the attack. And that's obviously because we haven't replaced Eriksen or Dembele. I think that's what we need. We need a creative midfielder. We need a ball carrying midfielder as well that can bring the ball out from the back. But yeah, he's got to look at his team. Again, he's only been here 3 weeks, so he's got to look at his team. He's going to get together with Paratici. And get hopefully the board will back him. And going by what comments did you read the interview he did with Gazzetta?
Who did with
Conte?
Gazzetta? No, I didn't read that.
He said that apparently Daniel Levy in October he wanted him in June, but he said he wasn't ready then. But then Daniel Levy wanted him in October and was willing to get him at any cost.
Yeah, I did read that.
Yeah,
I did read that.
Thought,
yeah,
that's interesting. So we will see, I guess, in January. Look, we all know we're not made of money, but we're not poor. So let's hope that he does back him and allows Conte and Paratici to do the football side. That's what we want. That's all we want. Just say, here's your money. It's what you got to spend. You go and do it, guys. And hopefully we'll see some signs in January. I don't think we'll see a lot of signings, but we'll see some signings. And I hope he goes to players. There's a few players we're interested in where it's like, well, if we wait until the summer, we'll get them for free, because their contract's over. Well, no, pay the extra money, get them now, get them bedded in. So next season, we can really start to compete for stuff. That's all I want. I want us to compete for the title. And the thing about competing for the title is that if you don't win the title and you finish second or third, you're in the Champions League. So it's it's just a win-win sort of situation. You know, you're still doing well. Whereas if you just go for top four, you know, I don't think that's the ambition that this club should be showing. And with Conte, you know that he wants to win titles. Every club he goes, he wants Tottenham to win the title, and let's hope that we give him the resources to do it. Because I think if he does, my thoughts yesterday was that, with the resources, he could do it, definitely.
All right, Brad. Always a pleasure, my friend.
You two guys.
Did you have a nice curry last night?
I did, yes. It's brilliant. Yes. No, really, really, really good. I probably ate too much. And I've sort of developed a little bit of a cold, but I think it's okay. It's not COVID, but I think it's okay. Oh, before I go, happy anniversary to Grandpa.
Thank you. I'm sure he'll
love
Diamond.
60
years, yeah, 60 years.
Wow, brilliant. No, fair play, and congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Grandpa.
Thank you very much, Brad. And we'll see
you
soon.
soon. Catch you later, guys.
Go Spurs. Come on,
Brad. Love that.
Thanks, Brad.
We're gonna have to join them for a curry one day. No,
yeah,
I'm
definitely.
I'm just hungry now. I think
know,
that's
I know.
why I'm thinking of a curry.
Right
I wouldn't mind a curry right now.
Let's get on Brains McLeod. Maybe he's got a new song to bring us. Brains, you got any new songs?
Oh, God. I see what I've done here. I've set up a precedence. I've set up a wrong precedence. But no, I'll tell you what. No, I'm not going to sing a song.
You're letting the fans down, Brains. They all want to hear the songs.
Look, I'll tell you what. We'll give you 6 months, and you come out with an album. How about
that? That is doable. That is doable.
All right, awesome.
If I did anything now, it would just be hate songs for Winks. But
brilliant.
Get your show kicked off YouTube.
A spite album. How about that? Brains, what did you make out of it yesterday in the end? Were you more happy and impressed that we turned it around, or were you a bit concerned about how hard we made it for ourselves?
Yeah, it was. I just felt like we were extremely lucky. I mean, we played football for 25 minutes. That's what we did. We played for 25 minutes. But in those 25 minutes, it showed that, like we've done a couple times, even without Conte here, we did it first half against Chelsea. You know, we know that the players can play. We know that they can. It's just, it's getting them to, you know, and it's getting this group of players to work together. And I think, I was watching it. I genuinely thought Conte was more exciting than the game. I thought he was better to watch than anyone on the pitch. Like, he was more exciting. But so before the game, everyone was going on like, 3-1, 4-1, 6-1, 21, you know. And I just was like, I couldn't see any evidence for how a win was even going to be possible, because he's obviously had such little time with them, and he's still dealing with a rotten bunch of eggs, you know. Like, what is he going to get? You can't even scramble these eggs. They're just completely fermented, some of them, you know. So I was just thinking, like, how is this going to be possible? And so as soon as that first half happened, there was some nice little positives to see. Like, I thought Harry Kane played great all game. I thought he was fantastic all game. His movement off the ball was amazing. And the key thing that it showed, right, that and this is like evidence that we're not scoring goals not because of Harry Kane, because Harry Kane did a lot of good things in that first half, but it showed you that Harry Kane knows, I'm getting nothing from these coconuts. I'm not getting anything. I have to go and do everything to make something happen here. In that first half, he was getting nothing. He had to go. Lucas was trying hard and doing a lot of cool things. You gotta love watching Lucas. And Son made some killer runs, and Reggie had some opportunities, but Kane was like, he was the guy going, getting the ball and putting an amazing ball in, or he was the guy on this side getting the ball and putting an amazing thing in. He was taking on players, turning some of the turns that he did, like taking Phillips this way and then turning him the other way. Some beautiful stuff he did. And then in the second half, it was like the change of tactics, and then you saw how Kane can actually get into scoring position. So it was a classic example of evidence showing that it's not on Kane and Son that we're not scoring and having opportunities, that it's on a lack of talent in the midfield. What did you guys think about that?
No, I agree with you, but then when he wants in the midfield, when we were playing this three at the back with two very aggressive attacking wing backs and three forwards, he likes a solid base in the centre, and that's why he wants players like Skip and Winks and Højbjerg who you can trust to create a bit of a pivot. And I feel like if we want that creativity, we might need to take out probably Lucas. I think he's the only one really who can come out the team if we want to add that creativity into the centre.
I also think he's going to try and get that solid midfield, that solid team before we try and go forward. We need to make ourselves very hard to beat and very solid, very compact before we can take it up to the next level, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that shows in the first half tactics. Like, what does those first half tactics tell you? Obviously, the second half, he's like, all right, not working. Like, get the ball, press, win everything. Just like, if you're going to pass the ball side to side and back, and like, a team's just going to not care. They're just going to go, oh, fine, we'll just do this all game. But as soon as you go, bang, move, every time you get the ball, you can see that he said specifically to Winks, when you get the ball now, do not go back. Go forward, go forward, go forward. Can you see Winks was putting murder ball passes into really hard areas, but at least they weren't expecting it. And all of a sudden, Lucas could take some amazing touches and turn, and we could get, we could progress forward. Like, you'd rather just put it into a player who's got a man on him. He can spin off it or you can pass it back, but at least show them that your intention is to go forward. We're coming for you now. So then they don't. Their legs have to stiffen up. They have to get like, whoa, tactic change here. And but the reason he did that in the first half is because he knows without the midfield that he kind of wants to play, he knows we don't have a strong midfield defensive structure. So we have to be worried. He was way more worried than about Leeds than any of us. Clearly, he didn't think this was going to be an easy game. Like he was very, very, and it still kind of didn't work. And so he had to realize, I don't have the defense strong enough. I don't have the midfield. We have to go for it. The only thing we kind of do have today is Kane's on fire and Lucas is looking pretty good when he gets the ball. So we got to go forward. We really do have to go forward. Yeah. So hopefully he does that a little bit more, but until we get the, another big, great, strong defender in and two midfielders, it's gonna, I do the same thing with the same facial expression as he did for Tanguy and Dombly. It's like, this is gonna be I think it's gonna be a tough little run. Luckily we've got good not easy, Jesus, like we've got easy air games.
Just put the kiss of death on it, Brains.
I know. Get battered by Burnley. But yeah, but yeah, there was a lot of good stuff to see. I mean, I did like the way Kane was carrying the ball, and I loved just watching like the braveness of Lucas. Like, he's getting past dreadful passes, and he's just he's going for it, like, and he's just you can't break him down. Like he doesn't have the kind of the final pass, of course, but he just won't quit. And I love to see that. I really do love to see it. I guess we kind of say it every week, but I just feel for the guy that he's not getting enough of the kind of like assists and goals. But I think if you bring in a Kessie and you bring in someone like a Paqueta, you might replace that issue. I think that it's tough because I think I'd love to see Skip play more, and maybe Skip's the kind of like defensive one. But I don't think I had a lot of people saying Højbjerg, hasn't been great of late. I didn't really see that. I think Højbjerg, I think he's got a lot of pressure to being like kind of the only good midfielder like in yesterday's team that we had. I think he had a lot of pressure. When a player isn't confident in the player next to him, it's going to affect his position because he's not going to do what he's told. He's going to think, I have to cover this guy. And if you're playing with Winks, you're not going to be thinking like that. I'm going to be thinking, I'm not going to be watching the game. I'm going to be watching this guy all the time. Like, Jesus, I can't. I'm dealing with this guy. So. I mean, that first half, Winks had some bad touches, some dreadful stuff. You got to think, like, if this was your chance. It is a little bit better in the second half, but if this was your chance to get first-team football, you kind of shat the bed,
Yeah. I mean, I actually didn't have too much of a problem with Winks' performance yesterday. I mean, he was dreadful in the first half, but as was the whole team. But I did think he really did grow into that second half, and I thought he played pretty well. And I actually thought he played better in that second half than Højbjerg did.
Yeah, I thought he was progressive though. That's the thing. It's like it's kind of like if you tell guys like, look, we're losing the game now. Like, just go forward. Like, just try and find. If you tell a player, do not, like, if you're Mourinho and you're like, do not lose the ball there. Do not lose. He's gonna lose the ball there because he's panicking. If you tell a player, just play, find a great pass, like play forward, then you see like how he played. He actually made a lot of really good. Like, he's got that talent. He can put a beautiful ball in. He did it a couple times. And maybe players are like not expecting it. It's like, Jesus Christ, like he put a ball. I think he put a ball over for Davies. Like Davies made like a centre forward run, which was kind of interesting to see. But
he's doing that every game, Brains.
Yeah, he's getting into the box, which is weird. I do like the kind of resurgence and confidence in Davies. I still don't really think. I think you still needed to fry. I think you need someone in, to kind of strengthen up that back three, because I think. If you have, like, this is people talking about Emerson as well. Like, if you just consider like this factor, if the players next to you if you don't have 100% confidence in the players next to you, you won't be able to do your job. That's like, it's like that the arm's length to the, that song. It's the same with football. If Emerson doesn't feel that his right back or his defense allow him to go on runs, he's not going to do it. So it's until you get like a solid like 3 world-class defenders to either side of Romero, I think a lot of stuff will just be kind of, impotent until we get that in. You kind of, players have to be let off the leash and they have to believe in each other. Obviously, that's difficult with a new kind of tactical change, a new manager in. Everyone's kind of playing for there's so many things going on in their minds. What you just want them to do is just be happy, listen to the manager, play well, and just enjoy yourself, but that's super hard if you're looking around going, oh, fuck this fucking guy. Oh, this fucking guy,
But tell me about Conte in Brains. His antics on the touchline, his always going at 100 miles an hour. He's probably working harder than some of the players are on the pitch on the touchline. What's your take on Conte at the moment?
Dude, if he was, the kind of heart monitor machines, if he was wearing them, like someone's app is bust. Someone's phone just blew up looking at his app. It's like I genuinely thought he was just gonna have a heart attack just watching him. Just like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like the ball's out for a throw in, and he's just like shouting. I was like, is he shouting at players because he's just going mental? It's like, it's like either they're not listening to him or he's having to say the same thing over and over and over. But just even like little things, like obvious things, like someone's taking a throw and he's telling them where to throw the ball. He's like, there, that. It's like, all right, dude. Oh man, it would be scary. I reckon it'd be scary playing for him because, yeah. Can you imagine that halftime talk? Like, Jesus, God, like he's got like fucking tomato sauce and mayonnaise, and he's just spraying. Like, you want your fucking sauce? Spray it all over him. God.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, no, but he's one thing I felt bad for. I felt bad for Tanguy because he like. Ndombele, like he made those comments about Ndombele, and I thought he was doing that classic thing where he's like kind of, banters and disses a guy in the press, and then he says, "Look, takes him under the wing. Now you're my guy." I thought he was going to do that, but to diss him to the press, and then kind of leave him out the whole game, especially the type of guy that Ndombele is, we know that breaks him. It's like, I felt bad. I felt bad for Tanguy there because
you say that breaks him, but he does usually respond not too badly to that. I mean, Mourinho did that, and then he started to be one of Mourinho's central figures.
That's true. I mean, hopefully it is one of those kind of reverse psychology things, and it's like he starts to play. But like last caller was saying, like I don't know if I see him. He's just really not the coach that Ndombele kind of fits, right? Like he wants to see everyone play almost at the same intensity in training as he does in a game. And Ndombele is that street baller. He's like, nah, this is the time where I try shit. This is the time where I'm just like having fun, like he's a lazy kind of training guy, So I can't see someone like Conte being like, yeah, cool. I'm just gonna believe that you're gonna turn it on in a game. I think it could be. I mean, but to be honest, even when Tanguy is in absolute best form, I don't think he does the Ericsson job, where you can put a perfect ball in, but also you track back and you put a last minute stop in. You're kind of like a box to box type playmaker. He needs that workhorse, you know. So I think he's got to be replaced by like a Paqueta or someone like that, someone who's just like go in and out of players, carry the ball, put the perfect ball through. You know, I'd be interested to see what we do in the window, you know, but I think I think you might get some decent money for Tanguy, so he might be the one player that the one good player that goes, you know.
All right, Brains, always a pleasure, my friend. We shall speak to you next time.
Absolutely, guys. Take care.
See you later,
Peace
man.
out.
Come on, you Spurs. Anyone? We got Mr. Spaghetti. Brandon, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's on mute, is he?
Oh, now we're good. You hear me? Fantastic. Got my chicken
what
parm
show
and
you
pasta.
got for us today?
I got chicken parm and pasta.
Brilliant.
Feeling good after last night.
How long did it take you to get all that spaghetti out your hair last night?
I just gave it to my dog.
Fair enough.
All right, so it's Italian food for how much? For the rest of the season? For your rest of your
Every
life?
day.
Rest of his life. All day, every day.
I'm oh my god, I'm an Italian, so I get it already. But yeah, no, it's a beautiful, 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 beautiful time to wake up in the world and be a Tottenham Hotspur fan. Oh, it is so fantastic. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's been about a decade now of me like closely following the Premier League and whatnot, and it's been a decade long of suffering up to this point. And it's free to finally. It feels so good to finally be set free. But actually, I don't. Did you guys catch any of this Serie A this weekend? There was I went and watched the AC Milan Fiorentina game because you had Kessié
I saw a bit of that. Yeah,
I heard Vlahovic was on fire.
Oh my days! Oh my God, the man is on the moon. He's none of this. He is. I'm not even kidding. You got Mbappe, Haaland, then Vlahovic. Young players in the world, easy. He's that good. He's that guy. Kessié was pretty good. Pretty good. But
pretty good.
Pretty good. But I still struggle really do to see how Kessié fits into our midfield. I mean, he's a great player, but he's basically just I think just a better version of Højbjerg. With a little more attack.
Better versions of our players?
Yeah, but you've already got Skip. Who, I mean, did you think Skip and Højbjerg complement each other? Would Skip and Kessié complement each other? You got, or are you going to put Lo Celso in there? You got to go get McKinney from Juventus. If we get Kessié, who partners him? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I hear that. It's a good
point. I bet Kessié is better going forward than Højbjerg, isn't he?
A little bit.
It's a good point, to be fair. But who would you like to see come in for the central midfield?
I mean, I've said before, I love Barella, the man.
That's not happening though.
Oh yeah, come on.
No, it's not.
He's just signed a new contract.
Yeah, I know. If we're going more realistic though, people we've been linked with, McKinney's still there. He's still out there. I mean, I don't know how much stock you should take in those rumors because he's starting week in, week out for Juventus now. I mean, beginning of the year, totally would have believed it because the man was barely playing. But recently he's been playing every single game. He's actually been their best midfielder this season.
And what kind of a midfielder? What would he bring to our team?
He is all over the pitch all the time. He has a motor that doesn't stop. He's got attacking abilities. He's, I think, one of the best in the air in the world. He's that good in the air. There's something very, very underrated about his game. The man can put a header in any day of the week, and we are currently lacking that in our team, really, even though we've got a pretty big team. When's the last time you've seen a header go in from a Spurs guy?
Probably only Lucas Moura is the only one that wins headers in our team.
Yeah, I mean, he's massive on set pieces. He can put in a defensive shift. He can put in an offensive shift. I mean, I think he's a box-to-box guy that you could get for 20 million, who I think in 2 years' time is going to be worth 40, 50. Also helps that he's American, so it's almost as good as being English in terms of how much it might in the future be having your stock raise up because of all the TV deals that are going on in America now, which are pretty interesting to go and look.
They're talking about what, a 2 billion TV deal,
Yeah,
1.5 billion or something.
Yeah.
Crazy. I
There's
don't know how's
war.
that being split? Is that being split evenly between all the teams? Do you know?
No way. Nope.
Because that's so interesting. Because if it is, that's like over 100 million for each side. It's nuts.
No, so I mean, what? Would you give 100 million to Norwich and then they go down and never get to see it? I mean, there's no way there's no way that works.
It's a how many year deal? It's a quite a long year deal, wasn't it?
I'm not sure how many year deal it was.
I think it just goes to the Premier League and then it gets somehow distributed.
Well, every year they take their percentages.
Then Premier League pay the TV rights to the clubs. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think it's to do. Yeah, they won't get a specific amount from that deal. I don't think.
So how would it work?
I mean, it's. Well, I think that, here, say you finish 18th in the league or you finish 8th in the league, you get an X amount of money from the Premier League, right? Just for that. I think that would go up a little bit per each place, probably.
Okay.
That's what makes the most sense. But again, like football or soccer, as a lot of people call it over here, is growing.
We don't call it that on this channel.
No, we never do. I was being facetious, but no. It's growing like crazy. It's growing like wildfire over here. I mean, it is becoming top 3 sport in America. I mean, it's just behind football and basketball now. American football and basketball now.
No baseball?
Oh yeah, it's overtaken baseball 100%.
Oh wow.
In terms of popularity, especially with people playing it growing up, it is massive. And you've got entire sports pubs being dedicated to soccer. Now, and it's it's really cool to see. But I'm just saying.
So you one of those who got on the train before it was cool? One of those? You one of the you got on the train before it was cool?
Oh yeah,
You're one of the OGs.
One of the OGs. I saw DeAndre Yedlin, little American right back from Seattle, playing over at Tottenham Stadium. Would he make like 2 appearances for Spurs?
Yeah.
But yeah. That's basically the reason I became a Spurs fan. Was I saw DeAndre Yedlin went to it. He was an American player over here. So,
I had high hopes for Yedlin. I really did. I had massive because he was supposed to be some rapid fullback that just never really seemed to get a chance.
He was definitely rapid.
Yeah. He still plays for America, by the way. He still plays in our World Cup qualifiers.
Who's he playing? He's not at Newcastle anymore. Where is he?
No. I think he's at Galatasaray actually.
Okay.
He's in Turkey now.
He's in one of the top Turkey teams right now. I mean, I don't know. Good for him. He's all right. But anyway, I think it'd be really smart of Levy to go and invest in a great young American talent like Weston McKennie. If not, someone like a Gio Reyna. I don't know. I think anyone.
Timothy Ware.
No.
No.
Serginho Dest.
Serginho Dest is an interesting one. I really wanted him instead of Emerson, and he would have been cheaper than Emerson as well. Because especially if you're looking, because I assumed that Nuno was going to be coming in with a 5 at the back or 3 at the back, where the right back would be more like a right mid like it is right now for Conte. And I think that Serginho Dest fits that role perfectly because he is an attacking talent. I mean, Barca's been playing him on the right wing recently, and he's not the most defensively sound right back, but I still believe in Emerson. I got high hopes for him. It's an interesting move instead of Dest because they wanted to get rid of Dest. I guess he would have been cheaper. I don't know what the financials behind it were, but it was weird. It was a weird one. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys make of Emerson? I still can't decide.
I thought Emerson, the first few games when he came in, looked really ropey, looked really shaky, looked like he needed a lot of time to settle into the Premier League. But then the next few games after that, especially before this last international break, I really thought we saw some really good signs from Emerson, really good attacking talent. I thought defensively he was looking all right as well. But then yesterday's performance and that West Ham performance weren't great, but I think that he needs time. He needs time to settle into a new league, and it's always hard for players coming from a foreign league to come and settle in straight away. It's always going to be difficult. But I've got high hopes for him. I really do.
Yeah, he had his heart broken too. I mean, he's had a Barca dream forever, you know?
Yeah, and he had that big announcement at Barca this summer with the whole pitch and everything. And then
Crazy.
3 days later, he's signing for Tottenham.
Yeah, talk about a roller coaster of emotion. I mean, that's nuts. So you think we don't need any more cover it right back in January?
No, I think we do. Maybe not in January, but in the summer we need another right back. I think Doherty probably going to ship out the door at some stage, and I think that we need someone to challenge Emerson for that right wing back role.
Yeah, and when you think we get 1 or 2 center backs in the January window, I'm going Bastoni over anyone. By the way, Bastoni.
Oh, I love Bastoni.
Bastoni's brilliant, especially in our FIFA career.
Yeah, he's really good on the ball too, which is something we need in the back. And he's a left-footed. I mean, come on, get the
Ticks
man,
all
get
the
the man
boxes,
in.
doesn't it, Bastoni?
Oh
How
yeah,
much do you reckon he'll cost?
That's the problem. I think he's probably a little more than De Vrij because De Vrij is older, and I don't know. Someone can make the argument that De Vrij is a little better, but Bastoni, what? He's 22, 23, something like that.
I think he's less. I think he's 21 or something. Yeah.
To be playing at that level, I mean, if I'm in or I'm going and I'm saying no less than 60, 70 for him. I think he's Romero level in terms of price. But
and obviously, who's going to know him better than Antonio Conte? Let's be honest.
Yeah, he knows how to get a tune of him. I mean, Conte loved him when he was there. You know, if it was like he was probably the only defender you never heard a negative word come out of Conte's mouth about in the entire club. And I don't know. I'm also really curious about this Delict rumor.
That's never happening. I'm pretty
That
sure
sounds
that's never
like
hogwash.
Hogwash. Harry Potter hogwash.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely
never
not.
happening. I mean, how much did they sign him for, Delit?
It had to have been like Harry Maguire money.
Yeah, literally, they signed him for massive money, didn't they?
It was like 80, it was like 80 mil. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not coming.
No. I mean, is there any other position we need besides this? I mean, January, you need a striker, you need at least one midfielder, you need at least one center back. Are we covered then?
I mean, I can't see us getting all 3 in January. Can you?
I mean, if we were able to pull off some loan to buy nonsense,
Maybe.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know how many teams really are going to play ball with that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if we can get those 3 positions in January, I'll be very, very happy, extremely happy. And then it lightens the load a bit for the summer transfer window, and we can really just concentrate on improving what we have instead of filling holes.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, Conte is not a huge youth guy. I'm actually curious to see what to do with Hill. I think he might get loaned out.
Yeah, he very well could do. But look, I think that he's going to try and test every player from now until January. And then obviously after January, he'll be trying and testing even more till the end of the season. So we'll see how it all plays out. But yeah, I can see that maybe Brian Hill going out on loan. But he could be a good impact sub off the bench.
Yeah. I think you need to get Scarlett out on loan though, especially with Conte. He doesn't trust young players like that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we all saw Scarlett when he was in the team in the Conference League. He did look like a boy playing in a man's game, didn't he?
A little bit. Yeah, I think you get him out to a nice League One side. Let him catch his feet.
I'd like to see him in the Championship.
I worry about the Championship though. You know, I actually think that it might be better to go a league down, so you really get in the rhythm, you really get your legs rolling. If you're a young attacker, if you're a young midfielder, young defender, 100% go to the Championship, right? Because you need to get battle tested, you need to get battle worn, but it's a little different for your attacker because it's so much more about confidence, you know, so much more about how big the net's looking to you on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Brandon, always great to hear from you, my friend. Enjoy that Italian food, and we'll speak to you soon.
Always will. All right. You guys have a nice rest of your week.
And
see you, Brandon.
See you later, Mum. All right. Is there anyone else waiting? No. All right. So that is the end of Good Morning Tottenham for you guys today. Player ratings and the 5 takeaways coming your way very soon. But thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Thank you.